squirting all over.
Did you get that? Oh my God! That was perfect.
For me, I take that to kind of be a bit of a contradiction because you said your biggest confidence was being nice.
Yeah.
So being nice is like anti-rebellion.
I feel like it's different. No. I feel like in a world where, and when I say being nice, I mean genuine, not superficial.
Caring for people.
Yeah, because I'm from Texas, and so a lot of the niceness is very superficial. People will be nice to your face and they'll talk about you behind your back. They'll, talk a good game, but when it comes to actually supporting you, they lack the ability to do it, So I feel like it's very contradictory to be a genuinely nice person because, as the saying goes, nice guys finish last. Especially being in any kind of industry, it's all about self-preservation. It's all about me first. What can I get? How can I get this? And so, I mean, a lot of times it does kind of bite me in the butt, but I feel like it's always worth it to be genuinely nice, to be genuinely supportive, to be the person that can be someone else's support in a genuine fashion.
I like that. I like it a lot.
Thank you.
And I agree because you really are. I don't know why I asked you that. It sounded more contradicting, but in all honesty, I do believe that you're a nice person, but yet you are individualistic, and I think you're very good at kind of like the delivery. Even if you don't necessarily want to do something, your delivery is not antagonistic. And so in my mind, I'm thinking rebellion, like, welcome in, fight the system,
Right.
But you're right, there's a way to do something to get your way without conforming, but without ruffling feathers.
Right. I think a lot of people think rebellion, Malcolm X, but also Martin Luther King was rebellion.
That's true. And
the exact opposite.
Well, I have a few more questions for you if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Working with you has been it's been amazing. And in a previous interview I did with Yindi, I was talking to her about how our front line is so dynamic and it's so great because we all individually can do our thing without needing the other person next to us.
Yeah.
So when we come together, it's like superpowers, So I have an amazing time watching you. When you go out to the audience, you're just every day, even if you don't necessarily feel like being
I never
on.
feel like it. Yeah.
You can't tell. Like you're amazing. Like you go out there and you make people believe that they're important and they're special. And sometimes I'm not gonna lie, I don't feel like it. I want to stay on stage for my time and get out of here.
Yeah.
But you go out to the audience and you do your thing. What keeps you going? What motivates you to give your all every time you hit the stage? What motivates you to exert yourself like that? Because some artists, when they're not feeling it, you see it.
Yeah. I mean, fun. Trying to find the fun.
Okay.
Because it's not fun. It's not always fun. It's actually it's not fun more than it is fun. But trying to find the fun is what keeps me willing even to come back every day instead of just going home and saying I'm gonna do something else. Because I think that's important in everything you do. You have to find the fun in it because everything's not going to overtly be fun. But I feel like fun is the number one motivation for why we do anything. It's because we enjoy it. It's because it makes us happy, or we feel like it's going to lead us to something that makes us happy. That's whether it's pursuing money or whether it's pursuing status. We want those things because at the core of our being, we believe that those things are going to get us to the vibration of happiness. So for me, having fun, trying to make sure that I'm enjoying myself is what keeps me. So when I go into the audience, because I feel like there's such a barrier when people are just sitting there watching you, I hate it. I feel like it's American Idol every night. It's not a good feeling. So I can get in someone's face and kind of like, laugh and giggle with them and make them feel not so much maybe that they're important, but that I'm a person just like them, and kind of relate to them on that level instead of I'm the customer and you're the singer, then it makes it more fun for me because it breaks that barrier. It breaks the fake.
The feeling of non-connectedness, like the feeling of like you're there and I'm here.
Yeah.
And usually, like even if they have a look like boredom, they get into it because you're like reminding them that you're human.
Right.
I have one more question for you. What advice would you give artists who are looking to do what we do for a living?
I would say make sure this is what you want. I would say make sure that you have a balanced perspective of what you desire, and make sure that this fits into it. Before I started touring, I was green. I was, what is it? What's the term? Green behind the ears or whatever. Wet behind the ears. Green, and I was very naive. And I actually had a friend who did tour before, and he was like, "You're not gonna like it." I was like, "What do you mean? It's touring. I'm touring full time. Like, what? It's like my dream, you know." But when I actually started touring, I never considered the opposite side of, you know, what some people would consider negative. You know, yeah, the loneliness, the culture shock, the not being. I thought, you know, I was gonna experience all these beautiful things in all these countries, and you know, I was gonna make friends wherever I go, and it was just gonna be a learning experience. But I didn't consider all the other things, the racism, you know, the discomfort that comes with the consistency of not belonging. So weigh those things out, be balanced in your perspective, and if you decide at the end of that, this is what I want to do, and this is, you know, this is for me, go for it.
I like it a lot, and I completely agree, because so many artists, I mean, I've been lucky personally. When I was in the States working 9 to 5s, I was miserable. You know, there was consistency, of course. I had a car, I had an apartment, I had, you know, a routine, and it was just so not me. So when I came overseas, the idea of actually being able to support myself doing what I love to do, you know, 6 nights a week wasn't a thing. I've done it for almost 10 years now, so I'm completely thrilled. But I have encountered a lot of artists who came overseas, gave up their life, you know, back home, to only come over and realize that they don't like it, and then they, you know, had a rude awakening. So I think it is most important for everybody to say, you know what, maybe talk to other artists who are already overseas first. Really get to know what's expected of you, vocally or instrumentally. Like, really figure out if you could do this. A lot of us are actually back home just gigging once or twice a week.
Yeah.
It's completely different.
So different.
Oh my God.
Completely different.
And people see, oh my God, they're actually on stage doing what they love to do, being paid for it. So jealous. But they don't understand that this is just like a 9 to 5 to us.
Right.
If this is not what you love to do.
Yeah, and I mean, it's different for everyone, because I didn't realize when I was home, I didn't realize how domestic I actually was. That's why I hated living in a hotel. We live in these dingy apartments.
I love it.
And we live in these dingy apartments, but for me that feels more like home, because I can personalize it. And I didn't realize that how domestic I was, because that wasn't something I was considering when I was, you know, considering leaving. And so I realized that for me, I was more inspired to do music when I was working 10, 16-hour days, and I had to go home and decide whether I wanted to sleep or write music. And, you know, I was having to fit in rehearsals, you know, after work, and then gigging on the weekends. And, you know, like, I found that I was more inspired when it wasn't a necessity financially, but it was a necessity only artistically, you know, for me to do music. And so all those things I feel like you should take into account when you're deciding whether or not this is what you want to do, because it is different for everyone, you know. And deciding, knowing yourself and knowing what you really, really want is very important in that sense.
Now, you're a songwriter as well.
Yeah.
Right? You have music on iTunes?
I does.
Okay, well, make sure you guys check out the one and only Tre Nation, his originals. He's an amazing vocalist, and the way his mind works, you know, on material that he writes is just brilliant. So I'm going to add some links on this video where you can actually check out his original stuff. Tre, thank you so much for being on today.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. Tag Live Artists on the Rise. Look out for this guy.